In the early hours of January 2014, police officers were called to a hotel room at the Grand Hotel in downtown. They received a call from a concerned friend who stated that he hadn't heard from his friend in a while and that he was supposed to check out of his hotel room that morning. He was worried because his friend had left the night before and never checked out. And to add to this, all of the friend's calls to the room were going straight to voicemail. The officers decided to go to the room to do a welfare check. But when they knocked and received no answer, they went ahead and used their master key to open the door. What they found inside would shock them. The officers entered the room to find a man lying dead on the floor. The door to the room was locked from the inside, meaning that the man couldn't have been locked in there by mistake. There were no signs of a struggle, and there were no signs of forced entry. All the windows were closed and locked, meaning that whoever was responsible for the man's death made sure to seal off the crime scene. As far as the police could tell, there was no weapon used, no signs of a robbery, no witnesses, and no way in or out of the room. There weren't even any fingerprints anywhere, meaning that whoever did this was a ghost. Or maybe this was just another case of a professional hit. But this is where things took a strange turn. When the officers looked around the room to try and find some clues, they noticed something strange on the wall. When one of the officers shone his flashlight into the corner of the room, it revealed a small hole. At first they thought that it might be a ventilation shaft, but when they looked closer, they realized that it was an entrance to a tunnel. The tunnel was only about a foot high, so anyone crawling through it would have to be very small. In fact, the only person that the police could think of that would fit in this tunnel was a child. This tunnel led to a service corridor outside of the hotel. And because it was sealed off with bricks on both sides, it would have been impossible for anyone to have crawled through it without leaving fingerprints or other evidence behind. It was clear that this tunnel had not been used in decades. The police searched the rest of the room and found an old teddy bear in the closet, indicating that someone small had definitely been hiding in this tunnel. But why? And more importantly, how did the man in the hotel room die? Well, after searching the rest of the room, the police found some documents in the man's backpack. These documents revealed the name of the victim, Harry, and that he had recently gotten divorced. The police also learned that Harry's ex-wife had recently inherited a lot of money from her grandmother. So when they went to question her, they had a feeling that she would be their prime suspect. To their surprise, she was completely innocent. Not only did she have an airtight alibi, but she hated her ex-husband and would have gladly accepted if he was dead. So then who wanted Harry dead? Well, the police decided to bring in Harry's friends and family to question them. And eventually, they got a hit. Harry's brother remembered seeing Harry arguing with a stranger in the days leading up to the murder. The man had introduced himself as Harry's long-lost cousin, someone that Harry hadn't seen in decades. And to prove that they were related, he showed Harry a picture of him as a kid with his real cousin. The police knew right away that this was a scam. No criminal is ever that stupid. So they started searching for this fake cousin. Eventually, they found him in another state and brought him back in for questioning. When asked about the murder, the man broke down and confessed. He told the police that he had planned the murder with his own son. The son would crawl through the tunnel and strangle Harry while his father waited in the car. Afterwards, they would take the body and throw it in the river. This way, they figured that they'd never get caught. But they were wrong. After hearing this, the police immediately arrested the fake cousin and his son. After being charged, the fake cousin told the police where he had thrown the murder weapon away. They recovered the rope and sent it off to the lab. It was a match. Strangulation was also the cause of death. The son tried to claim that he had no part in the murder and that he only confessed because his dad forced him to. However, there was no evidence to support this. This case had a happy ending because of a stupid fake mustache. If this guy wasn't so dumb, then who knows what would have happened? Comment if you think these two deserved it.